Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptid.
Was these two globes. I don't know how to describe them. And I stood up there and looked at them, and it's like...
I just couldn't hold it anymore, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was a chupacabra. I was so excited.
They were referring to Bigfoot.
There are voices in the darkness.
Reason why this show is called Drunken Cryptid.
And welcome back to another episode of The Drunken Cryptids. I'm your host, Matthew Orton. And I do want to give a shout out real quick to Dylan over there at blademedia.com. Dylan, thank you for the graphic. Thank you for the website. You guys, Blade Media did the graphic for us for our logo. And they also built the website. If you want an example of what Blade Media can do, please go check out their website, blademedia.com. That's Blade, B-L-A-Y-E-D, media.com. So go give them a shout out. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate everything you've done. And of course, special shout out to the team. I don't do this by myself. I have a good team that supports me and surrounds me. So I definitely want to give a shout to you guys. As always, I mean, I'm not where I'm at, because of me. It's because of the team that I have around me. So thank you again. Appreciate it. All right. Shows coming up. We do have on January 14th, we are going to be at the Censored Monkey from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out, meet us. We'll have the equipment. We can record some of your encounters. There's some folks started reaching out to us are going to meet us up there. So come out, join us. We'll have a good time. It is a 21 and only establishment, though, so you got to bear that in mind. Sorry, kids. On February 8th, we are going to be at the Paradise Pizza in Ozark, Arkansas. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Again, February 8th, Ozark, Arkansas, Paradise Pizza, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to be doing an open town hall meeting with Todd Neese, good friend of mine. Great guy. You get a chance to come meet him. Ask questions to myself, to Todd. It'll be hosted by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel, who will also be doing some expeditions that weekend. So if you want more information on that, go ahead, email me again, message me again, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. The big news is April 5th, live show with the Cryptids of the Corn guys. That's right, they're going to come down here to Arkansas. We're going to be at Old Bart's, 600 North Main Street in North Little Rock from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's on April 5th. Tickets are for sale. This is a ticket event, you guys, so limited seating, limited availability. I'll be recording for an hour. They're going to be recording for an hour. I know what Justin and Jay are going to be talking about. I know what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be a good time, you guys. You get a chance to meet and greet with us, ask us questions. With a live show, we get a chance to kind of show pictures, versus like a radio show, how you just hear us talk, we describe, but we get a chance to show pictures. We'll be sharing everything that we've been doing, what we've been up to. It's going to be a lot of fun. You get a chance to meet and greet with us. Old Bart's is going to have a full menu available, including the Drunken Cryptid Burger, which is an amazing burger. Paul, I love it over there. Thanks, man. That's on April 5th, though. The ticket information is available on the website. It's on our website. It's on the Cryptids of the Corn website, and it's going to be in the description of the show below. So please make sure that if you want to join in, great. Get your tickets before they go because they are selling. If you are coming from out of town, go ahead, message me. I can help you get hotels in the area close by. That way, you know where it's at, and you get a chance to hang out with us. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna visit with you guys. The show's about y'all, so come out, hang out with us, and join in. And of course, you guys, I appreciate all the support. Keep liking, keep sharing. It means a lot to me. Keep commenting. If there's an episode you like, great. Drop a comment. Hey, I love this show. If you don't like it, well, don't comment. I mean, the world's full of trolls. It really is. Not as mean as there used to be, but go ahead, like, comment, share. I appreciate all the 5-star reviews, you guys. I really do. The more comments we get, the more that we get out there in the algorithm, and that helps the show grow, and it can reach some other people who are trying to maybe get some encounters, they feel lost about. So this does help folks out. So the more you like it, the more you share it, the more people get out there. So I appreciate it. But again, if you've had an encounter and you want to talk about it, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. And follow us on all your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X. We are everywhere. So appreciate it. But now, on to the show. Tommy is calling in from the great state of Arkansas. Shock. It's a great state. And Tommy had some pretty interesting experiences that he had while he was living in Kentucky. And Tommy was nice enough to want to come on board and talk to us and kind of share some of the experiences that he had out there. Tommy, how you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing great, man. I'm glad you decided to reach out and want to come on the show and stuff. And we talked a little bit yesterday and got some, you were telling me a little bit about what took place up there, and you have some pretty interesting experiences.
Yes, sir. I lived there most of my life before I moved to Arkansas, but I had a couple of restaurants over there in Kentucky, and while traveling for these restaurants, I happened to run into some different areas, and I actually stayed in a haunted house. I wasn't aware that it was haunted now. This was fresh out of high school, basically. I had took over one of my first restaurants and went there just to check the house out. You know how you do when you get all excited. You want to go look at this place. It's for rent, so you get excited. You get there. It's nice. You talk to the landlord, all that good stuff. So I try to plead with them a little bit, like, hey, I don't get paid for, at least another week. Then I'll have the deposit. If we can work something out, I'll pay the deposit then, and then maybe we can move in. Well, it was strange because it didn't even let me get that far. He goes, you know what? You belong here, and just throws me the keys. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a rental house right now, and I wish he'd have been that generous to me. We had to work a little bit to get in here, but we did. But that also would have been like a little, I don't know. I mean, knowing what I know now, I'd probably been like, yeah, that's a little quick. All right, or maybe he's just a really nice guy.
Right, and I'll find out here pretty soon on some of the situations I get into with this place. I was excited, of course. We moved in. I don't even think it took us 2 or 3 days to move in. We were so excited, and we get in there. They're nice. Everything's going good. They're sort of like almost at the other end of the driveway with us. And now this house is hidden back. Like you don't even know it's in there. You have to go down a little hill through these woods, and then you see their house to the right, and then this house is to the left of it. A good little distance, but not too far. I mean, you can still sort of hear, like if their kids are outside playing, you can still hear them playing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, again, all excited, seemed very nice, didn't think nothing of it. So, a couple of weeks passed. We've had some friends over playing games, game nights, stuff like that. One of the nights, so the way the house is built is downstairs is the garage and the laundry room. Upstairs is the living room, kitchen, and bedrooms. So downstairs, downstairs, you go downstairs and you go out, and then right across is their little ball court where the kids play ball at. So it's pretty close. So like I said, you can hear the kids laughing and everything like that. So there was a couple of nights that we had friends over and we were playing games, and we heard kids laughing. Didn't really think nothing of it, but we knew it was sort of late, so we're like, wow, their kids are out playing late. Ignored it, didn't think nothing of it. It happened again another weekend, like our friends came out and we played games. So we heard the kids out playing. We was wondering, like, it's like 10, 11 o'clock. Their kids are out playing late. So I would go through the window and look, and they're not even home. So I played that off like, well, that's strange. Maybe it was a TV or something, even though we didn't even have the TV on anything that was making kids noise. But we played it off. So that night goes over with, and then this was during the week. We was watching a scary movie. And you know how in some scary movies, if you got some kind of haunting or going on, your lights start flashing off and on.
Yeah.
Well, our closet light started blinking off and on, literally while we was watching a scary movie. So, of course, that added to the effect of the scary movie.
Okay, so so y'all are watching this. Y'all have a scary movie put on, and the closet light just starts turning like a strobe light.
Yeah, well, no, not even like a strobe light. Not like rapidly. Like it turns itself off, stays off for a couple seconds, like enough for you to notice it, and then comes back on.
Oh, wow. Now, was it like a pull string or like a switch?
Yeah, there's a pull string inside of it. So
You would
the
hear
closet,
it then. If somebody was in there messing with the pull string, you'd hear it click, though.
right, and it's right. I mean, it's distance from us. Like it's literally not even 5 feet from where we're sitting at the moment. So like we could see, you know, if one of us was touching or not. And we're the only two in the house at the time. Like there's no one else there.
It's the first time this had happened then.
First time this has happened. Now,
So
this
what was the movie y'all were watching?
We was watching. I think we were watching Supernatural. I don't know if you know that show or not.
The TV series?
Yeah, it was a popular TV series. I think it was on WB or CW.
So I have a quick funny story about Supernatural. Real quick before I let you get back into the closet light. So I avoided Supernatural for the longest time until we got hit with a snowstorm here. When was it? 2014, 15? And wasn't able to go to work for a couple of days because of the snowstorm because I ran routes before. And so my oldest daughter out in California was like, Dad, just watch Supernatural. It's on Netflix. Just watch it. You'll enjoy it because it's all about the creepy stuff that you enjoy. And man, I got hooked.
Yes.
I got hooked. There's a couple of seasons I didn't like, but all in all, you know, for a TV series based upon the first 5 seasons were amazing, and they did a really good job. Is you know, other than that, but yeah, I'm Supernatural, big fan of it.
I was gonna say, yeah, the first 5 seasons it was my favorite, and I did like on how some of the stories it told. You know, how detailed it went on some of it. It had its ups and downs, but yeah, it was actually a good series.
Yeah, you can tell the writers did their research on a few of the cryptids they bring in. And some of them they just kind of made up as they went, just kind of make it fit into a storyline, which is, of course, that's what Hollywood does. It fits it into a storyline. But I have a whole other episode I could do about Hollywood and the Supernatural and what I think they're doing with it. But anyway, so we're watching Supernatural. Closet light is turning off and on, and we're the only people in the house.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it was going right with the show, so I was like, okay, it's funny but scary at the same time, you know, like creepy. So we didn't pay no attention to it. I was like, probably a loose light bulb. So I did it again. I was like, okay. So to quit from to stop my girlfriend from being scared or creeped out, I go to check the light bulb. No sooner I walk up to it, it turned itself back on. I was like, huh. So I checked the light bulb, make sure it wasn't loose. It wasn't loose. So like, okay, didn't think none of it. I just went ahead and turned it off completely. Like, I turned it off, make sure it was off. Come back, started watching the show. A couple hours later, you know, we went to bed. Didn't have anything else happen at that time.
Okay.
But that same night, I woke up in the middle of the night. I rode over toward the closet, and the closet light was turned on. And there was a like a white dress just hanging in the closet.
Oh, the white. So the dress was not there before?
Right. But to my mind, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, huh, that's a pretty dress. You know, I was half asleep, half awake. I just knew the light was on. The dress was hanging. It was just hanging there, like right in the middle of the closet. Didn't think nothing of it. Just rode back over, went to bed.
Okay, so this dress, I want to talk about this dress for a second, Tommy. So was it on a hanger? You knew it was on a hanger?
Yeah, I mean, from the way it looked in the closet when I saw it, it looked like it was on a hanger, but it looked like it was the dress was facing outward. So, you know, the next morning when I woke up, I realized, like, hey, wait, her closet's not like that. How could it have been hanging like that?
Okay, what kind of dress was it?
It was actually like a ruffled white dress, sort of like a an old timey wedding dress.
So it looked like a wedding dress to it, like an old fashioned wedding dress.
Yes.
And was facing towards you like somebody was wearing it.
Yes. Yeah, like it was just, and that's the, and it, yeah, it was just like the dress was just hanging there. But at that time, I thought it was just actually hanging. But then the next morning, I realized, like, wait a minute, no, we can't hang clothes like that in that closet.
No, that sounds like you got an apparition there.
Right, but I didn't think nothing of it. It is one of those things that I rubbed off, didn't think nothing of it. Now, like I said, the weird thing is, all this stuff goes on, and looking back at it, I was like, gosh, I should have took the signs, like I should have got this in. But after this happened now, it was a couple of days later, and all this stuff happened while we were living there, is the weird part. I was home, I was watching TV. My girlfriend, her mom had came and got her because her car was down. Her car was, transmission or something was out. So her mom came and got her and took her to the grocery store to go shopping. They left. The moment they left, now the weirdest part, it starts thundering. The wind picks up and it starts pouring rain. I'm like, dang, we're getting a storm. Daggone, hope they're okay. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, my phone was cutting it out. I'm sorry. So we're getting this storm, and to me, it feels like it's lasted quite a bit because they was gone. And I would say about maybe 15 minutes has went past, 15, 20 minutes, and the storm stops. And sure enough, I get a phone call like maybe a few minutes after that, say, hey, can you come outside? We're here. Help us with the groceries. I get out there, ground's dry, like nothing ever happened. And I look at her and I was like, did you guys get caught in that storm? And they're like, what storm? And I was like, as soon as you guys pulled out, I was like, it started storming. I thought you guys got caught in that. Or I thought you guys would have got caught in that. She's like, no, it didn't storm. There was no rain or nothing where we were at. And it was only 10 minutes up the road.
Okay, so the storm. All right, so you heard thunder.
Yes.
You heard it raining.
Yes. I looked out the window. It was pouring rain.
I'm speechless on that one. So you actually, I was about to say, I was going to ask you if you looked out the window or not. And you had pouring down. So it was raining on the house, big storm there, but nothing when you went outside.
Nothing. When they got home, after it stopped, a few minutes after it stopped, I went outside and it was like nothing happened. And I was like, dang, what the crap, I was puzzled. But again, it was a storm. It was rain. We used to stay in South Carolina, so it's like I was sort of okay. I've been in sort of storms like that, where it's raining in your back porch and sun shining on your front porch. I've been in something like that before, so I was waving that off. Didn't pay no attention to it.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing. Because even here in Arkansas, it'll rain on one side of the street and won't be raining on the other side.
Right, so that's another end. Didn't pay no attention to it. I've seen that before. Didn't think nothing of it.
Okay, so did you check the backyard, or just out of curiosity?
Yeah, because I normally like going out there and checking on the back deck and everything. I had a TV out there. That's normally where I like doing my little dinners. So, which I didn't have a TV out there that day because I didn't have one yet. But no, we checked outside, out in the grass, and it was dry as can be. There was nothing wrong.
That's bizarre.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what was wrong with me at that point. I don't know if it was just the excitement of having a new place to my home, to myself, and it being like a nice looking place that I was just overlooking this stuff. Because honestly, thinking about it, if I'd have woke up and saw that dress now, and I was somewhere and I saw this, I wouldn't even give it another chance. I'd have been out.
Well, I have a haunted house story myself from when I was in the service, and I left Korea and was stationed at Fort Hood. Me and my ex and my kids moved into this house, and I was so excited. It felt like it felt like we had moved up. And looking back, similar story. The landlord was real excited to have us there. Just couldn't wait for us to get there. We gave him some money right away that, I had, obviously. And we spent one night there. And the first night, I remember we had air mattresses. And my kids were up here visiting my parents. And she was asleep, and I was just getting ready to fall asleep. And it felt like somebody put their hands on the air mattress. And my first thought was, because we were stationed at Fort Carson before this, and so we had cats at Fort Carson. So in my mind, I'm used to having her in bed with cats jumping on the bed. And I was like, it's one of the cats. Then I remembered that we didn't have the cats. And I remember sitting up and going, well, that was weird. And same thing, the excitement and everything just blew it off. There's a lot more to that house that took place besides that, obviously. But yeah, I understand completely, to where you blow a lot of this stuff off at first.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was doing. And but here, after all this started, like after that, the incident started getting a little closer. And one night, I remember waking up and seeing the male landlord actually looking at us from the other side of the driveway, like just staring at us, staring at the house. So I was like, okay, maybe he's looking for something.
That's a little unnerving.
Yeah, it really was. And I don't know how long he stood out there, but I looked out there again and he wasn't out there, like a few minutes later, and he wasn't out there. And I was like, okay, maybe he was staring, maybe he was just looking for something. Didn't think nothing of it. Just wanted to make sure I told you that, just in case, because it was a pretty creepy little sight.
Well, I mean, do you think that, so you're telling me that he let you move in pretty quick. He lived pretty close to the house. He possibly might have known what was going on, and maybe he saw something as well, which is why he was standing there.
Well, see, when I get towards the end here, it is what surprised me, because so he's got a dog. He had a dog over there next door, and it was digging up on the flower pots, or the flower bed that they had, and under the flower bed was some black garbage bags. Well, he got onto the dog and made it get away from it, and then he'd cover the black garbage bags back up. I didn't ask nothing else about it. Thought it was just part of the flower bed. But that was before the whole incident of him staring through the window and stuff. But one of the nights, again, had went by. This was after the storm, after the closet. Everything just started coming together more closely now for some odd reason. And we heard kids playing again at night. This makes multiple times that we've heard kids playing, but we thought it was the neighbors' kids.
Right.
Until that one time that they wasn't home and we heard the kids. So we just played it off. That night, we had our friends over and was playing games again. And we heard the kids laughing, and it sounded like they was right in the backyard. And we're like, wow, it's way too late. They shouldn't be in our backyard. It's way late. So we go down, me and my friends, so the boyfriend of my girlfriend's friend, me and him go down. They stay upstairs. So we go down to check the backyard. No kids. And the neighbors are not home. So we don't know, I guess they would leave every weekend or every other weekend or so, but there was times that they weren't there. So, but we were still hearing kids outside playing. So we just didn't understand that part at all. And so anyway, eventually we end up moving because I get transferred for work. So we don't move because of everything we've seen. I mean, we were still going to try to give it a shot. We was just rubbing everything off, just shoving it off like nothing's going on, just whatever. And then, but we move, and I want to say about a week or so later, my girlfriend's mom works for the 911 dispatch over there. And she tells us that she had got a phone call from people that moved into that place shortly after we moved out, and said on the call, like she had it recorded, like on the call, they call her for an ambulance because some little girl just fell downstairs and she's hurt. She's not moving. And she said no sooner they called her and told her this, the people on the phone turn around and say, wait, never mind, the little girl's gone.
That's creepy.
Yeah, So we're wondering, like, if this was what we were hearing or what we might have been, experiencing, but, never actually seen it. Because for her to get this phone call like that and then that happened, I was like, wow, that is crazy. And I mean, that was a straight 911 call that she had got. And that happened while she was on the phone. Like, the people literally just said, wait, never mind, the little girl's gone. And see, the neighbor had boys. They didn't have a little girl. They had 2 or 3 boys.
So the kids that you heard that you heard playing around and stuff like that, was it like was it multiple kids or one kid or a boy, girl, or?
No, it just sounded like multiple kids playing. It was like there was like the way it sounded, you couldn't tell if it was boy or girls because it just seemed like it was just young kids playing.
So that could be almost like a residual haunting right there. Especially if they witnessing a kid falling down the stairs. That might have happened before. Because I have a hard time with kid ghosts. I really do. I don't think that God will allow kids to be left behind. You know what I mean?
Right, and same.
So I think that anything that's going to mimic a kid is probably up to no good.
And that's what I was thinking, because the way the male landlord was acting at times, especially the time, like I said, we caught him staring in the window. I mean, to me, it seemed like he was trying to hide something at points, but I don't know. I never really done any research on that location, but I need to, because it's been a minute since I've heard anything else about it. Or after I heard the 911 call story, I was like, wow, that sort of explains some stuff that we experienced right there.
Yeah,
or what it could have been.
That's creepy. Now, I will say, though, the plastic bags under the flower beds.
Yeah, there's like black garbage bags, yeah.
Well, a lot of people will use those to, like, kill the weeds and kill the grass up underneath the, you know what I mean, on the surface. And then they'll put soil on top of it to weigh it down. And they'll do that so that way no weeds will grow through.
Right.
Yeah, so that was one of the things I was, I'd made a note on, because I know that I've done that before. I've gotten black plastic out, and where I was going to put a flower bed in at, covered it all up, weighed it down with mulch and stuff, and waited, a good year, 6 months to a year before I started digging into it. So that could that might have been it,
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't pay no attention to it about the garbage bags. I just know he was very protective over that area.
Yeah, he might be like me. I'm kind of that way too. With the dogs here, I'll be out there doing, trying to get sod to grow and trying to get my own flower beds. And these dogs sure like to go out there and get into it. And I do a lot of yelling at dogs around here.
Oh yeah, they don't make it easy when you're trying to do something like that.
No, they don't. Not at all. That's a creepy house, though, man. How long did y'all live there?
We lived there, I want to say almost a year, actually, because it wasn't long after that. Because I think we was there about 2 or 3 months before anything even started happening.
Yeah, and that might be kind of like a residual that you were experiencing. It sounds like a lot of it. Because I have a theory to where, certain areas, certain places, that are haunted. Most of the hauntings are a residual. Which is where it's something that happens over and over and over again, an event, like opening a door. You know what I mean? But something about the energy of that area that comes off. And it's a theory. I'm not an expert by any means. I mean, no experts. But I look, it sounds like there possibly could be some good residual there. I don't know the Yeah, you said you didn't research the history of the area or anything like that?
No, not yet. I haven't. I know it's been a long time since I've done it, but I have just recently, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, started getting back into the whole supernatural and everything stuff like that. And I've been doing some research on some other stuff. And I know when I go back to Kentucky, I'm gonna go back over there and visit and see if there's anything, or even if the people are still there. So I try to go back there every 3 or 4 years, and I'm going to try to get back over there to see if there's anything there, or see if I've heard any, if anybody's heard anything.
Well, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Huh. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I can't think of, it'd be fun to go experience. Did the light happen again after that? Or was that the only time the light went off, or in the closet?
Nope. That was the only time the closet did that. Is that night before I saw the dress hanging in the closet.
And never saw the dress again.
Never seen it again. That's the reason I was able to play it off so much, because it wasn't a repeat. Like, nothing repeated itself other than the kids playing. I mean, you've heard that multiple times, but again, we just played that off or paid no attention to it. But yeah, I mean, that was the only thing that we heard repeatedly was the kids playing. Other than that, not everything happened more than once. Even the storm, I never got that. I mean, it never stormed like that again.
I was just about to ask you about the storm. It really was. That storm's got me. I mean, I'm not a meteorologist. I love the weather. I mean, I love setting up on it, and I know there'll be downbursts, but I don't understand how you could look out the window and see it raining, and the thunder and lightning and everything, and it to be dry.
Right, and the wind was blowing too. I mean, the wind was blowing like crazy. I mean, I literally thought it was coming a really good storm, and then for her to say nothing happened, and then seeing it when I got outside, like nothing did happen, I was like, what the heck? I mean, that just puzzled me like I don't know what. But
maybe
at
you
that
stumbled across a rare phenomenon known as haunted weather. I mean, I'm just making that term up, but I'm making notes here, and I'm going to research into this haunted weather stuff and see what I can find out if there's any, you know what I mean? Something too. Maybe a tornado. I mean, it is Kentucky, so I know they get tornadoes and such out there as well. So maybe some major storm hit, or you see what I'm saying? So maybe it all ties in. Some storm. Was it a newer house that you were living in?
No, it had been there for a while. But I mean, yeah, I completely get the storm thing, because I remember I was over there when I lived over there. When I was working part-time as a DJ before I started doing the restaurants. And we had got a phone call one time from a town saying they just got hit by a tornado. They didn't have no warning. How come no one gave us any warning? No one told us anything. And, I mean, there was no warning. There was nothing on the radar or anything. And all of a sudden that town got a tornado.
That's crazy. Well, the weather's weird. I mean, we could probably talk for hours about how crazy the weather can be, but that's like the safest job in the world is being a meteorologist, because you can be wrong and still have a job.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You don't have to be right about nothing on that one.
Nope, just gotta look at the radar and go, "Help! Here comes something."
Yeah.
Listen, my meteorologists out there, you guys do a lot of hard work, and y'all have your work cut out for you. I know you guys do, and I know everybody cracks on you, but I gotta get a little jab at my meteorologists. I have to. I've got to. I would not want to do the math on behind on how they do the weather patterns and do the math on trying to figure it out. And I'm glad there's people out there that can do it, because that's why I joined the Army.
No, there's so much knowledge that goes behind that. There's no way. I looked into taking classes for how weather, the weatherman and them's got to do. I was like, nah, I'll keep that up to professionals.
Yes, that's how I feel about it as well. I'm the same way. You got some more stories though for us, don't you, out in Kentucky?
I do. There's another one that happened with one of my restaurants there that we were. So at the time that we owned the restaurants, anytime we had to go to one, we would always stay in a hotel nearby. And one of the ways was to one of the restaurants and back was like the back road. And now we didn't know this at the time. Now, there's not much detail on this one because it was a one-at-a-time experience. Never had it again. Wasn't able to get it again. I mean, we tried looking for it and couldn't do it. But we was leaving the restaurant one night. We had closed the restaurant down. I think it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock. We finally got out of there. And we had to go this road that we travel every day, every night. Never had anything happen. So I want to say that night it might have been after midnight because it was later that night we was getting out. And we was going and going. And all of a sudden we had to stop for a train track crossing. I was like, okay. So we did. We stopped. And we sat there and waited for a while. We waited. I mean, 10 minutes had gone by, and we'd watch this train keep going. And we start noticing it looks like the same train car keep going by over and over. Like, literally had, like, the same graffiti on it, everything. That's how detailed we was, like, starting to notice it. And it was going over tracks, loudly hitting the tracks. So we sat there and we waited for a few minutes. Finally, it stopped. So we go on by, and especially when it's dark and you can see the lights of the train. Normally, when you're going down the road or you're passing the road, you're right beside the tracks, you can sort of see the tail end still going. Well, as soon as that went past us, like, we didn't see any tail of it anymore, like, just gone. So we went back.
So the train was going, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah, I mean, like, once it passed, like, you didn't see no lights or anything. It was just gone.
Oh, so it did pass you then?
Yeah, like, when it was in front of us. Sorry, it was in front of us, and once it cleared the track for us to go through, you didn't see it no more. It was just like it faded. Like, there was no lights, nothing.
Like it maybe went around a corner or something? Yeah,
like you didn't see any trail of it. No more sound. It just stopped. It just quit. And that was awful quick, And so we get back to the hotel, not thinking nothing of it. On the way to work the next morning, we go by the same way. So I'm looking for the tracks. And where the tracks should have been, or it used to be, you could tell there used to be tracks there, but they were covered up. And there was a house sitting where the tracks were on one end of where the train was coming from. A house was sitting there. So at that point, like, how did the heck did the train get through there? Where was it coming from if there's a house there?
All right. Let me make sure I got the picture here. Night before, train comes by, disappears as soon as it passes y'all.
Yes.
Next morning, you're on your way back to the restaurant, and you look on over for the train tracks because of the train. For the night before, the train tracks are gone. Now, were the tracks still there, or could you? Because when they get rid of a train tracks, there's that area still marked off. You know what I mean? It still has the, you could tell a train track had been there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can tell a train track had been there.
And somebody had a house built on it?
Yeah, there was a house. Like, a house on where the train track used to be. Like, there's a house there, yard, and then you see a little bit of the train track, and then nothing.
I have got to go check out Kentucky more often. That sounds interesting.
That is, if you go that way, that is through Barville, Kentucky, on the back road there. I got to look up the name that you go through to get there. But yeah, that was one of the ones that really freaked us out as well, because there was no way a train should have been over there, because there was nowhere for it to come or go to.
No.
Especially with a house sitting on the track. I mean,
yeah, you're right. There is no way.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's been some weird experiences. I mean, I can't explain them all, and I know some of them, and I apologize to making it sound like I'm jumping around. It's just...
It's your story. You do what you got to do, and if you get out there too far, I'll kind of reel you back in a little bit, and you know what I mean? So you're just fine. You're doing great.
But yeah, just some strange experiences and some stuff I just can't explain. And then looking back at it now, I'm like, heck, why didn't I look into it more? Or what the heck? How did this happen?
Well, because how I view the supernatural, the paranormal, and cryptid stuff is a lot of people won't realize they've had encounters until after it happened. Because our brain automatically breaks it down into something rational. Our first thought process. It really is. Like you, for example, in the haunted house with the light flickering, don't turn it off and on. Your thought process was maybe the light bulb was shorting out. Maybe there's something going on with it. That's where our brains should go to automatically. The funny part is that when we look back and we go, well, no, I just changed that light bulb. There should have been no reason for that. Or, I mean, anything other than like the dress. It's the dress, and he went back to sleep, not realizing that it was facing the other way till you went, and that morning went, wait a minute. One, that dress isn't in the closet. Two, there's no way the dress could be there.
Right.
Yeah. The way it was. So, and, when I was a kid growing up in Utah, before I joined the service, we would play up in the Uinta Mountains all the time. And we would hear, my memory of it is like woodpeckers. But here in woodpeckers now, they have that really rapid, knocking they do. Right?
Yeah.
That's not what we heard. But of course, in our kid mind is, those are woodpeckers. And so we were thinking, looking back, I'm like, man, that could have been Bigfoot doing some rock knocks or something out there. Because we would hear the noises and we would hit sticks on trees that, try and mimic them. Not even realizing what we were doing. And now as an adult and doing the Bigfoot research and everything that's come out over the past, 10, 15 years, it sparked up those memories. I go, man, I wish I'd have known that. But again, we rationalize it.
Yeah, that's true. And especially now, I like some of the evidence they started getting on these trail cams with that too.
Yep. So there's definitely a lot out there. What else you got for me?
Oh, yeah. Now you got me thinking. It's just no telling what all we ran into as kids, and like you said, ration it off to something else.
Well, let's talk about. So the haunted house there in Kentucky you moved into. Was that the first time you had something paranormal happen in your life, or?
No, we used to. When I was younger, we used to play with the Ouija board a lot, which we don't do anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
I am so.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. So, I grew up in a really religious family. I really did, and that was the one thing that was so preached about to never, ever, ever do. My parents were really cool about me digging into the paranormal as a kid. I worried them sometimes with some of the books I'd bring home from the library, But the one thing they stressed was for no Ouija boards. And so that's the one thing that I've never done and I have zero interest in. And I think part of I have two reasons why I think it is. Because one, you gotta, the rules obviously are, people have to be touching it. And I don't trust other people to would let it go on its own. You know what I mean? My mind would always be somebody's controlling it who's sitting at the table with me. That's where I'm the biggest believer at the paranormal, and I really am, researching and digging into it and stuff. But I'm also like the biggest skeptic. Yeah, so like psychics, for example, I believe them, but I'm so skeptical of them. So
no, I'm the same way with that.
Yeah, it's like they could say, well, there's a ghost standing right over there in the corner, and I'm going to go, great. Can you prove it? And that's where I have the issue at. So, and then on top of that too, though, just for some reason the Ouija board to me just always seemed not right. It was creepy to me. That was one thing I wouldn't want to do. But go ahead. So, the kid with the Ouija board.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. We learned quickly not to play with those. We had a couple of experiences with those, but I remember there was one time it was me, my aunt, my mom, and I think two of my nieces, and obviously they was telling the kids, the younger kids, not to be in the same room as we're doing it, which of course no one listened. And it's just one of those experiences back then is when we was doing it, the bedroom doors slammed themselves shut and there was no one there.
Whoa.
Yeah, so after that happened, they obviously okay, stop, done, threw it away. They disregarded that one. They threw it away as quick as they could. Later on, I had some friends or some cousins that tried to do the same thing, and we had a bad experience with that. Almost similar to that same incident, doors slamming. And honestly, it took us almost 3 times to get rid of the Ouija board on that one, because every time we'd throw it away. And now to this day, I can't say if it was or if it wasn't. But to me, it felt like one of my friends had just kept getting it and putting it back, is what I felt like. Because it kept just going right back to where it was, like in the bedroom, in the closet. It was like it was there every time. So to me, I just felt like somebody was taking it back every time we tried to throw it away.
Because there's always the stories of that where people say they try to burn them, they witnessed it going into the fire, they witnessed this, they witnessed that. But I want to say Hasbro was the company back in the 80s, that had them for sale, to where you could go to, seriously, like in the game section, to buy these Ouija boards for kids. Hey, kids, let's open up portals to hell. So, and I heard all the stories of people trying to, get rid of them, burn them, do this. They wouldn't do this, they wouldn't do that. And then again, like you said, it could be one of your buddies doing it to mess with you. I did hear a story of this lady. I'm trying to think what book it was. I want to say it was like the Amityville Horror or something. It was one of those books, and she ended up like burning it or doing something that to get rid of it, right? Said it was all possessed and evil, and someone in the family went and bought another copy and kind of destroyed it a little bit, like how she had done it. Either got it soaking wet or whatever, and left it on her nightstand and just scared her. Yeah, so I mean, as a joke,
wow.
yeah, as a joke to try and freak the lady out. But that's with the Ouija board popping back up. That's it could have been one of your buddies.
That's what I mean. That's one of those things. Like to the day, I think it was, but it's just hard to tell because every one of us was, scared and freaked out. And to this day, we don't go around one. We don't play with them. Someone says they got one, I don't go over there.
No. Yeah. Well, also, I know there's a lot of everybody says a lot of particular rules, but I don't think that. So my issue with the Ouija board is I don't see how a piece of cardboard and the little sight glass tool that you're supposed to use, I don't see how that can trigger or open up anything to that way, unless it's running off of our own natural energies, and the people there, the more people the merrier, which is the more energy you're creating, the more you're willing it into existence. Does that make sense?
I was going to say, I believe that is exactly how it is, good sir. You explained it right there.
And to where people are willing it through their energies, our own energies, into existence, and there's something happening into that existence. And because it's I'm trying to get the words out that I want to say, and I'm stumbling over them right now. But I don't believe that just that piece of cardboard, there's nothing about it, unless it was already made with ill intent. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yes.
So if the Ouija board was designed, the concept and everything behind it was designed with ill intent to open up, then yeah, but that's a lot of energy to put into it, to make it that way. And that's probably, gosh, we could probably do a whole show on the Ouija board.
Well, I was about to say, yeah, that's a study in itself right there.
Yeah, that would be. That'd probably be a good episode right there.
Heck yeah, I'd listen.
The history of the Ouija board. Now, you've been a listener since I started, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Shared every moment you put on there. Man,
I sure appreciate it. I really do. And I'm just getting it started. And my little girl's episode is dropped already by the time we're recording this one. And I'm very proud of her on that one. She wants to do more, she says. So, and then I've got we got some more projects coming down the line. I've got an expedition that we're trying to put together to go after the Arkansas Howler. Going to be working sometime this year with the Cryptids of the Corn podcast crew. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to them, definitely give them a listen. Hey, look at that shout out, Cryptids of the Corn. There you go, buddy. So, but Justin and Jay over there, great guys. They have a wonderful show. A lot of education in there. They do their homework very well. So, but we've been communicating back and forth, and then of course, I've got some more stuff that I'm working on besides the Arkansas Howler. A road trip maybe in 2025 to Texas. They go on a hunt and some stuff like that. So, but man, I could talk to you about this all night long, Tommy. I really could.
I'm the same way. Now that you're saying the Arkansas, we actually, I say we because it was just me and the kids.
Hey kids, let's go find the Arkansas Howler.
Right there into that stuff too, you know. I mean, until they hear it holler or hear, you know, or something. But yeah, we did some study on it, and we was actually going to go take a little trip ourselves because we had went not too far from here. I can't remember what lake it was, but we had went looking for a little woman in white, and we got there, and we actually heard someone holler. But of course I had my kids with me, so I played it off as, oh, that's probably them down the road, even though there wasn't really nothing close. But hey, they believed me. And I haven't went back, but no, the howler, that's going to be really interesting. I'd love to see and hear about that.
Well, I got some theories on it. I've been digging into it. Was doing some research over the weekend because it's been brought up to me twice already to go look for it. So I guess I'm, that old infantry mentality that I have is that, all right, 2 times, I guess I better go do it. But I have some theories on it already. I'm going to save it for, further now. I'll talk to you offline about it. But I do want to say, though, Tommy, man, this has been a pleasure. I've enjoyed having you on the show tonight. And, I mean, I know sometimes some of these paranormal stories are hard to tell because, people expect, to be made fun of or anything. And this community here, that's not what we're about. The storm thing, though, haunted weather, I'm thinking you might be onto something there. You might have experienced it. I'm going to do some research into it. When I get some answers or whatnot, I'm going to definitely reach out to you if that's all right.
Yeah, no, that would be great. I'm actually going to look into it now that we spoke about it, because I didn't even think about it, what kind of phenomenon that could be. Again, I was young, and all this stuff, when I started hearing your podcast, all this stuff, memories started coming back, and I was like, dang, I do have something I could tell.
Yeah, that's the funny part. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you did it. So, all right, well, we get ready to wrap this on up. Tommy, I appreciate you coming on, bud. I really do. And other than that, tell you guys what, thanks for listening in tonight. Appreciate it. If you like the show, go ahead and give us a shout out. Hit that 5-star rating. Give us some good reviews. The more you share us, the more people are going to hear about us, the more people are going to come forward with their experiences. So again, thanks everybody for listening in. Appreciate it. Tommy, man, appreciate you. Have a good night. Cheers.
You too. Thank you.
I can do anything that I want. Hey, hey, if it is to be, that it's up to me. I'm headed to the front. I can be anything that I want. I can be anything that I want now. Anything that I want, hey, hey, if it is to be, that it's up to me, I'm headed to the front. 'Cause I'm the king of the world.